Shadows of Betrayal Final Part. Detective Sazid Evans sits across from Arya and her mother, Samina. The room is tense and silent as they process Sazid's shocking revelations.
Arya, it's true. Legally, you and Farhan were never actually divorced. Every document you signed, it was all forged.
Arya looks stunned, rising to her feet, barely able to comprehend.
How is that even possible? We signed the papers. Everyone was there.
If the entire process was staged from the beginning, Arya, it was all a setup right down to the witnesses.
Her mother speaks up, her voice quivering.
This can't be. Why would Farhan go through so much trouble just to fake a divorce?
Farhan orchestrated it all for reasons I'm still piecing together. But I know he was under immense pressure.
Please, tell me everything. I can't bear any more half-truths.
Farhan's boss, Rabia Chowdhury, was involved. She manipulated him, Arya. And from what I gather, this divorce, it was Farhan's way of protecting you and Fahim. He was trapped, forced into a web of deceit, and his only option was to stage this entire drama.
Arya tries to process everything, her head spinning.
So, Farhan never actually wanted to leave her?
Far from it. He was desperate to find a way out. But let's start from the beginning. Arya, tell me about Eric, your former boyfriend. What really happened?
Arya winces at the mention of Eric's name.
Eric, he betrayed me. He was seeing another woman while we were together, and he even married her in secret. By the time I found out, she was already pregnant. It broke me, detective. My father's friendship with Eric's family also fell apart because of it.
I've heard similar stories from your family, but I needed to hear it from you, Arya.
Sazid and Arya enter her brother Rian's room, conducting a thorough search. They find nothing of interest. Sazid moves next to Arya's father's room, methodically checking drawers, shelves, and closets. He finds a black envelope hidden inside the pillow cover.
Looks like your father was hiding something.
Sazid opens the envelope and reads the letter silently. Arya watches, her heart racing.
It's from Shadow. He'd been watching your father for a while. Here's what he wrote. To send people above for judgment is something I enjoy. Your sins are being tallied. If you disappear or die, it will be due to your own misdeeds.
Signed, Shadow. Arya's face pales as she processes the note.
So, Shadow had targeted my father, from the beginning.
Yes. He was a marked man, Arya. Shadow doesn't make idle threats.
After nearly a month of intense investigation, Sazid gathers Arya and her mother for a final meeting.
I've uncovered it all. Arya, your father started his criminal empire by murdering your uncle. He feared exposure after your uncle discovered his dark secrets. When your uncle confronted him, he chose silence permanently.
Samina covers her face, horrified.
So Eric, did my father have him killed too?
Yes. Eric was blackmailing your father, threatening to reveal his illegal pharmaceutical operations. He forced your father to pay for his silence. But eventually, your father saw him as a liability and took care of him, the same way he took care of everyone else who got in his way.
Arya is visibly shaken, fighting to keep her composure.
I don't want to hear another word about him.
And what about Farhan? I need to know what happened to him.
Farhan's boss, Rabia Chowdhury, was a powerful and manipulative woman. She wanted Farhan for herself, despite knowing he was married and about to become a father. She offered him marriage and more. When he refused, she resorted to threats.
He would never leave us for her.
He didn't. Rabia held him captive emotionally and blackmailed him using intimate photos she'd staged after drugging him. He couldn't escape her hold, and eventually, he planned the divorce as a way to protect you. But Rabia found out.
Arya clutches her chest, horrified.
On the 17th of last month, she had poison added to Farhan's drink through the housemaid. Within hours, the poison began its work. The very last call Farhan made was to you.
Arya's eyes fill with tears as the weight of Sazid words sinks in.
And Eric, he was the one who brought the poison, wasn't he?
Correct. Rabia manipulated Eric, offering him wealth and power. Together, they silenced Farhan and closed the case with bribes, ensuring nothing would ever point back to them.
The room falls into a deep, somber silence as Arya and Samina struggle to process the revelations. Sazid sits alone, enjoying a glass of lassi when his phone rings. He picks it up, noticing the unfamiliar number.
Yes? Who is this?
It's me, Detective. Recognize my voice?
Sazid's face hardens, immediately recognizing his nemesis.
Shadow. I knew you'd be around.
Amusing, isn't it? We keep crossing paths. But you'll never catch me. You're getting older, Detective. Sooner or later, you'll have to retire.
Your time is running out, Shadow. You're on the edge, and you know it. Next time, you won't get away.
Shadow chuckles on the other end, his voice filled with chilling confidence.
That's what you think, Detective. But here's the truth. I decide who gets caught. I write my story, and you're just one of the players in it. Remember, I'm everywhere and nowhere. You'll never see me coming.
Sazid clenches his jaw, keeping his voice steady. Maybe, Shadow. But someday, your story will end, and I'll be there to close the book.
The call cuts off, leaving Sazid in silence. He takes a deep breath, looking out the restaurant window as he contemplates the long chase ahead. Shadows of Betrayal. The end.